And welcome, everybody, to Sterling TV 19's live broadcast of high school boys soccer. Today, we're coming to you from Barnegat, down by the bay near the ocean, as Barnegat plays host to Sterling. I'm Tad Kosneski for Sterling TV 19. Most of our broadcast today is going to be brought to you with Mr. Strauss, Mr. Schulz, and we have our excellent student joining us as well. So, Rob, give us some of the numbers and information we're going to get for this game today.
Well, here's what you're looking at. Sterling coming to this game 9-7-2 overall on the year. They've lost their last three games coming into here, only scoring one goal in those three contests. Barnegat, on the other hand, coming off of a real tough loss, hosting New Egypt. They lost 7-0. They come into the season, coming into this game rather, 10-6-1 on the year. Sterling averaging 3.2 a game, while allowing about half of that, 1.5. They also have 6 shutouts to credit Mike Sowers, who will be starting in goal tonight. As far as the Bengals are concerned, 3.35 goals per game, 2.1 goals allowed. They also have 2 shutouts to their credit. So a tale of two pretty interesting teams coming in here, and some conditions that are very similar to yesterday. Tad, just when you got a chance to do the broadcast for the girls' game, with the field conditions, Joey, are really good. You were walking around on the field earlier. Your thoughts on the field conditions?
The grass was a little wet, but besides that, it was fine. It was not as mushy as the girls' soccer game was yesterday. So I don't think the field condition will play a factor.
Some of these Sterling fans starting to make their way on the pretty hefty trek down here, Tad, as we got some of the fans waving to us and getting ready for the game. They brought their umbrellas and their ponchos and some of the towels to wipe off the seats. But, Tad, it was a hike to get down here. It'll be interesting to see how Sterling responds after a real long bus ride.
Yeah, for most people who aren't familiar, Barnegat, we take the Atlantic City Expressway, Parkway North, about 20 minutes north, and we're just off that. And you're explaining to me in the distance, even though it is a very foggy day, that is the bay that you're seeing in the background right over this school. On a sunny day, it would be a beautiful, beautiful sight, but we're dealing with a lot of the mist and rain that's going on. Luckily, we're up here in a nice football press box, so we'll get a good view of this game today.
On the other side of the bay, obviously the Atlantic Ocean. On some certain days, I'm sure you can see old Barney there, the lighthouse, Barnegat Lighthouse, off to our right. Not today, though. Really heavy cloud cover and occasional mist floating through here every now and again. So the field looks like it's holding the water pretty well. I'm sure that will play a factor. And if you're looking at all the lines on the field here, you are going to play the yellow lines here. So make sure that you guys are paying attention at home to the yellow lines on the field for this afternoon's game. When you look at the bracket, this is the bottom half of the bracket. Barnegat, the number 7 seed, taking on, obviously, Sterling, the number 10 seed. The winner of this will either face Oakcrest, the number 2 seed, or Haddon Heights, the 15 seed. And we saw a 15-2 upset yesterday in the Group 4 girls playoffs. A 15 seed upset the number 2 seed Jackson team earlier yesterday. So that anything can happen, Tad, in soccer.
Yeah, that's why you come out here and play it. And we've had games in the past over our 15 or 16 years that I've been here of coaches saying, you know what, we don't have the horses to play with the team. We're going to play a defensive game and go right to penalty kicks.
Unfortunately, the girls did lose in PKs, and that's a real tough way to lose a playoff game, or really any game for that matter, and via the penalty kicks. Joey, we got a chance to talk about that on the way up here, and how do you resolve penalty kicks, and as a soccer player, some of your thoughts on penalty kicks in general.
Well, for a team that's looking like Sterling was yesterday, I didn't know the exact seeds, but if you're looking in like the favorite and you go to penalties, it stinks to lose like that. But if you're a team that's maybe like the next game we were looking at was the Oakcrest and Haddon Heights game. Haddon Heights, if I were them, I would want to see that game go to penalties because that might be your best shot against the number 2 seed.
That next round game is scheduled to start, according to the NJSAA calendar, is scheduled to start on Friday, November 1st. So should Sterling move on in advance, it will make a very, very interesting Friday with, because it is Spirit Week. You've got the pep rally. You've got a home football game, the homecoming football game, which is an extremely important game for the football team. They win, and more likely than not, they have clinched a playoff berth. So it will be a very, very busy Friday should Sterling move on against a tough Barnegat team with a pretty impressive record so far this season.
And again, it's going to be a little different for our team because, again, we play on the longest and widest field in the Colonial Conference and one of the widest fields in South Jersey. You can see here on the football field as we look down from where the 18 meets the end line, there's a lot more room on our field. So a lot more narrow, and it's going to play in for restarts.
Both teams have broken the huddles, and the respective captains are shaking hands at midfield. Take a look at that Sterling team that is going to break the huddle right now, the big logo in the middle of the field. And we are just about 90 seconds away from getting this one started. And some last-minute instructions from the officials at the middle of the field, and it should be a really, really great game because it's tough to gauge, very similar to our Cedar Creek game yesterday, Tad, in that you don't really have a lot to base it off of. I'm looking up and down the Barnegat schedule from this season. There's really nobody that they've played similar opponent-wise. It's because they play the Shore Conference schedule. Really no common opponents. So it's really kind of a coin flipper here.
Yeah, there's a lot of very good teams here. And again, there's a lot of good teams you're dealing with the Haddonfields of the world who are winning our division right now. And basically all you can go with is just goals total. And it's funny that the goal totals between the two teams are almost exactly the same thing, Rob.
Barnegat sits second in the Shore Conference B South standings behind Pinelands. Manchester Township, Point Pleasant Borough underneath them as well in that Shore Conference B. Sterling, on the other hand, doing a great job in that they were one game behind Haddonfield, who won the Colonial Conference in that big game where they tied Haddonfield 1-1 at home.
One thing we're very happy for as announcers, if you're watching at home, Sterling today with the white uniforms and the blue numbers. That last game we had, they had the blue with the black on. We was having a very difficult time. Mr. Lomas was saving us on identifying players.
Tough to see black numbers on blue.
Especially at nighttime.
Mr. Schulz delivers, literally.
Literally delivers. Just rolled in some pies, which we won't be able to inhale. Well, can we eat on the air?
Mr. Farr is going to yell at us already. There'll be no eating until we get to halftime.
Correct. Both teams huddled up right now, just getting ready for the start of this one. I'd like to welcome everybody back at Sterling who might be checking us out in fifth block. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Tad Kozaneski, as well as Joey Lomas. And welcome to Barnegat, New Jersey, everybody. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Joey Lomas, Tad Kozaneski on the camera. First round of South Jersey Group 2 playoffs. Sterling, the number 10 seed, all the way down an hour-and-a-half bus ride to travel to Barnegat High School. Glad you joined us here on a misty, rainy, off-and-on kind of day, but the field in good conditions, Kevin. And it'd be very interesting to see how Sterling responds after a really, really long bus ride to get here.
Long bus ride, and the field's in good condition. And the thing about it is it's high. The grass is high, so, you know, for a team with some speed, as Sterling has, I don't know if it's going to be a great advantage, but these guys are looking back. A lot of our bus rides that we've had in soccer games has resulted in wins. So I know we went to Point Pleasant Borough for the championship.
Correct.
Game of girls soccer. I remember Pleasantville, Tad, a couple years ago, we went to and had a successful day there.
Sterling will get the ball to start this contest. Again, the winner will face either number 2 seed Oakcrest or the number 15 seed Haddon Heights in the second round, which will be played on Friday, November 1st. And we are underway. Barnegat in the orange. Very easy numbers to spot, which is always a nice help for us up here in the press box. Already Barnegat on the attack. Sterling playing some quick defense to kind of shield it away. Far side, Simon Renthang trying to spring Bruce Williams, team's leading goal scorer.
Hey guys, we talked about it last time. What a boost this is. You know, you've got Bruce Williams, the leading scorer, but having Simon Renthang back, I know he came back a couple games ago, but that's another weapon and another guy who can create some offense on his own.
Booted up ahead off the foot of Matthew Cheney, the freshman defender. Nice throw in. Here comes the aforementioned Williams. Williams over to Jeanray. Back to Williams, now back to Jeanray. Low give and go. Jeanray given some space, tries to cross it, and somehow Karam's back to him. Jeanray shot and an easy save by the goalkeeper for Barnegat. And the game's first opportunity goes to the Sterling Silver Knights.
But it's good getting that first opportunity early on. You know, obviously you're a little nervous coming in that game. And I think when you get the ball up and it makes it happen, it's a good thing.
Some fullback work there. What are you looking for here, Joey, if you're looking for Sterling? How do they get off to a quick start here?
You see on that play, you had probably your two fastest players on this team, Kaz and Bruce. And as we saw in the Trine game, speed kills. In that first half, everybody had fresh legs, and Trine was a little quicker than Sterling. But when Sterling got tired, Trine used their speed to go past him and score 3 goals. Let's see if Sterling can do that now.
Cheney sends it forward, looking for Matthew White. Defended away nicely, looking for a deflection and getting the deflection for a goal kick for Sterling.
Michael Sowers just having an outstanding season. I know the last time we saw him, Joe, this was your game on here, the first game you were on, and did a great job, by the way. We bring you back here. Boy, Sowers did good in a losing cause, but really made some nice saves.
Had the one penalty kick that was saved and just couldn't save it again.
Yeah, that was that. They came in and got that rebound. Of course, that was a game where they play everybody, mix a lot of different players in. And against a very good Triton team, the thing we talked about that team was Triton had a lot of speed, and it, in a way, can get you ready for some of the playoff-type competition that you're going to see with fast forwards.
Booted away on that near side by Matthew Cheney, whose name we've called quite a bit here early on for the Bengals. Throw in for Rodriguez. Rodriguez to the middle of the field, high ball as the mist starts to, another wave of mist starts to pour in here. And it was off and on, Joey, pretty much the entire time. On our drive up here, about an hour and 20 minutes it seemed.
A little extra time added on to that when the driver assist had us go about 10 miles past our destination.
It's all part of the journey of doing a remote broadcast. White looking in the middle. Booted away by Sterling. And now here's Ryan Fisher. Fisher looking for Tyler Quinn. Quinn given some room in that far side. He's going to try and center one. And it's deflected away for the game's first corner.
We see there Tanju, probably a captain next year, and definitely the captain of the defense, getting a little frustrated with his team not being able to clear that ball.
First corner on the way. Low line drive. Sowers comes out. An opportunity here and just headed over the bar by Jesse Headland, who had a golden opportunity there if he just kept his head down and Sowers was out of position.
Well, Sowers there, you know, he's an aggressive goaltender, sensing there was a lot of bodies in front of him, and kind of took a little bit of a risky move stepping out there. And it's you know, he's done a great job all year doing that. Got to the middle, but Sterling was fortunate that Barnegat wasn't able to get a good foot on the ball or get a head on the ball accurately.
3-on-4 the other way, coming near side for Headland. Headland centering ball, nobody home except for Sterling defenders. And that ball is going to roll out of play for a Barnegat throw-in. In an offside position, even if that had gone through, was, I believe, Justin Gomez. And now Sterling on the retaliation, trying to push Jeanray forward. Jeanray was 1-on-3. So far, Barnegat doing a great job of just possessing the ball early on.
They really, Rob, did. They had some great sustained attack time there for probably about a good minute or so.
Here comes Headland. And it will be another corner kick. Second corner kick in as many minutes for the Bengals.
And that's something where you continue to get these corner kicks, and they happen obviously when you're pressuring like Barnegat is. Eventually, you're going to put yourself in a good position to score with these kicks in the middle.
Grady Edwards with the corner kick, and they'll get a throw out of it as it's headed away by Sterling.
And you see different strategies. It looks like they were trying to corner kick that right to the middle. Some try to go far post. Some teams try to go near post.
Sterling in the last 4 or 5 minutes here, Kevin, kind of on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, after a good transitional opportunity. And you could see Barnegat really confident they're bringing some of their D up to really press things in. But Sterling right now in transition has got the throw in, and they're in the Barnegat end of the field for the first time in a couple minutes.
Very similar, different start to the game that we saw yesterday at Cedar Creek, where Cedar Creek scored in the first 90 seconds, whistling a foul there. An opportunity here for Sterling. But Tad, Joey, you were there. At least got a chance to watch it yesterday. Sterling found themselves in a hole just 90 seconds into the game.
They did, and this game they're gonna have to work out of it. But good chance there for Sterling. Basically played it like a corner kick, just overhit it, just over the head of Yassir, and they're gonna have to regroup and look to get another opportunity.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. They overhit it. You know, they might have been trying to go far post, but just a little bit too far.
Beautiful kick. And controlled nicely, almost. And Sefer Rodriguez was there to sweep it away from a would-be attacker. Plenty of room here for Barnegat. Taking ahead. In coming out to help out was Ermel. That nice season out of the sophomore. Now they're going to try and spring a genre. Genre can't combat the speed of Kenneth Frank, who has some help in Matthew Cheney.
Yeah, you said it, Rob. Frank really has good recovery speed, and I think that's obviously a key for Barnegat back on D.
Genre tries to cut it back inside, deflected again away off of Matthew Cheney.
Sterling was looking for a foul there, but just an inadvertent sort of tackle. He got the ball first, so it's going to be a throw in here.
Deep throw in for Sterling as a stun starts to try and peek out. Jake Vitale with a nice throw inside the 18 and easily kicked away with plenty of space. And a nice move here. Here comes Matthew White. Plenty of room, 2-on-2. Now 3-on-2. And good defense by Sterling, but Barnegat still in possession until it scoots into Sowers. And this is a day very similar to yesterday, Kevin, where the turf is wet. It's going to take some weird bounces.
Yeah, it will, and you've got to control it first and get going. But White there had a lot of speed coming up that near side. Joe, kind of reminds me of the speed we saw from Triton in that game about a week ago.
It does, and you see right there on that last play, Barnegat got out on a quick break, and that was most bad news for Sterling. But Tanju Sivri, Sterling center back, was able to divert the play and allow some of the Sterling defenders to get back.
That was Cheney thought he was going to go back to his defender and then went forward with it. Majority of the play so far, Joey, has been really all Barnegat. Almost a nice save there by Jesse Headland. Couldn't get there fast enough.
And we saw this last time with the game against Triton. Sterling just didn't have much to say in the first half. Came on strong at the end when they brought on a few subs, but Sterling's going to have to apply more pressure in this first half and don't let off in the second.
Throw in near side for Sterling. For Simon Renthang. It's onside. Oh, no, offside. Just offside.
Close.
I think that was Miko. Had a genre as well, but just a step offside there. Otherwise, he was off to the races.
That was Simon Rethang playing the Bruce Williams.
That was Bruce. Onside is Gomez, a little too far, and Sowers, as we've seen all season, very aggressive coming out, and I think the ball would have rolled out either way.
Yeah, and you could see, we talk about the wet field, and we're talking about how it skips a little bit quicker. You could see that on that kick right there, but obviously Sowers just getting out there, not on goal, but something to look for moving forward in this game.
Dangerous play there, and they're going to call the foul, and it will be a Sterling free kick. Just about 12 minutes into this scoreless game. Glad you joined us here on Channel 19 via YouTube, live streaming. Welcome everybody back at Sterling. You might be watching this towards the end of the school day, just about to end in about 15 minutes. Still no score here. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Joey Lomas as well. Behind the camera, no mic on him today, but Mr. K doing a great job with the camera, as always. That's what he does. His voice needed a break from yesterday. A lot of talking from yesterday.
A workout.
4 substitutions going to check into the game for Sterling. Ermel's going to scoot off.
And they had this substitution coming in, but you could tell the guys on the field looked like they felt like they were getting in a rhythm. They wanted a quick throw in, but obviously, the substitution was already kind of predetermined there.
Hedlund for Cheney. Can't control it. Sterling able to control. Renthang 1-on-3, and the help defense back for Cheney. Lots of whistles off in the distance. That is the football practice. Threw me off for a split second. Then I looked over the visiting stands and noticed they're doing their warm-up drills. Inside the 18, in trouble and swept away by Tyler Quinn on defense. Nice job by the junior to clear it out of the way.
And that's that dangerous ball there for the defense where it bounces around, but you wasn't able to find a leg of a Sterling forward. You saw Barnegat get in there and just get it right out. And you've got Jake Vitale right here to throw in.
Beautiful throw by Vitale. Nobody home. Cleared up by Hedlund. Hedlund working one-on-one there on the near side, and it's going to be a foul against Sterling.
Kind of thought he was
Against
on the
Rodriguez.
ball, but I guess I don't know if he pulled him down.
Cheney to restart it for the Bengals. Still no score here, just about 25 minutes remaining in a scoreless first half. And a push in the back on Sterling. Gomez drew the foul, and it will be about 25 yards out, 35 yards out or so. Opportunity here for the Bengals.
That foul was called on Kevin Rodriguez for a little push in the back. It's going to give Barnegat a pretty good opportunity. We saw it like this in the train game where they were able to score.
Grady Edwards on the restart, bends it inside the 18, headed away by the defense of Sterling. And Renthang sends it forward, looking for Williams. Williams, the speedy Williams working against Sean Toner. Williams cuts inside, and the collapsing defense sends it away. Sterling, no room to shoot, absolutely no lanes whatever, Kevin.
Yeah, the defense is really good for Barnegat here. We had that one ball that bounced in the middle, and they were right there to kick it away. Definitely winning the battles to the loose balls back on their own end of the field.
A lot of trust in the keeper and Sowers there as their last line of defense. Risky play. Nice head ball forward, but kicked away by Rodriguez. Looking for Bivik Barali on the far side, and it goes into the Sterling bench. Vitale will reset. White Looking in the middle, nobody home except for Rodriguez, who sweeps it over to the near side and will be a throw-in. Right in front of, I believe that's Matt Sheehan over there on the other side with the
Yeah, I know
red
he had
umbrella.
just gotten here. I saw him pulling up as I was coming up here.
It's also at the girls' game yesterday at Cedar Creek. Tough loss in PKs for the girls yesterday. Never led in that game. They trailed 1-0 just 90 seconds into the game. They got the equalizer. And Corinne Morgan for Cedar Creek had both goals in regulation time.
And what an offensive force she was, and only a freshman.
Gomez just wide off of the head of, I believe that was Matt White, who snuck in and went just past the over the right shoulder of Sowers, and we remain scoreless.
And I was just about to say, both teams defensively are doing a good job when you get down low, get deep in their own end, covering people. But White was able to get loose. And we saw an example of White's speed that about a minute ago. He was coming up this near side. So he finds a way to get himself open, has a real good scoring chance.
.50 ball, won by Sterling. And now here comes William. Again, nice little burst of speed, and all Cheney could do there is just kick it onto the track and force Sterling for a throw-in.
Throwing it in is Tony Collins, also has another long throw.
Williams turns a corner, but again, Barnegat there. Two Barnegat defenders there to clear it away, and plenty of space, and they'll finally boot it forward towards midfield. Berkeley into the game for Sterling, the sophomore. Looking inside for Barali, and coming off the line to avert danger, Zach Oliver.
Oliver, like Michael Sowers, doing a good job coming out of net.
Sterling still looking for their first real good offensive opportunity here, Kevin. Not really much to speak of, and that's a credit as to the all goes to the Barnegat defense.
Yeah, they're doing a good job. You see Franks back there chasing down Bruce Williams a couple times, but Sterling, for a time, Barnegat had some sustained attack time, but you haven't really seen Sterling do that.
Opportunity here for Gomez. Gomez one-on-one with Sowers, and just wide of the cage, hit the outside. Had a little bit of space, but credit Mike Sowers for cutting down the angle.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself, Rob. You saw Sowers coming out and made that shot a little bit more difficult, coupled with the good defense of Tanju Sivri, but that was a really good display of Michael Sowers cutting down the angle.
That's really the only shot that he had. Gomez had a good look and a great run, at least from our vantage point, which is a really nice vantage point. It's great we were basically ground level yesterday at Cedar Creek, and being up here, up in the top of the press box, which is super vantage points here, as opposed to yesterday where we were on a very wet, squishy field. Makes it a lot easier to see up here.
That's nice up here. We've got a good, a lot of area here, good wide vantage point, and definitely makes a big difference in being up here than being down on the ground, especially in soccer.
Shout out to the Barnegat High School athletic staff and administration for allowing us to bring this game to you live and take up some space in their press box. Just about halfway through this first half, still scoreless here from Barnegat. Winner will face either Oakcrest, the number 2 seed, or Haddon Heights on Friday. So 2-day layoff in between the first and second round. A lot of that probably has to do with Halloween, but you never know.
Yeah.
Near side, White. White working one-on-one. And he loses possession. However, Barnegat just gets it right back. Edwards. Berkeley has some space. Thought that was a whistle here. That's a whistle on the football field. That's going to get confusing.
Nice restart here for Sterling. They're going to get the throw in, and they need to challenge Barnegat deep in their own end. Again, we talked about them not really doing that yet, not really getting a good, legitimate scoring opportunity.
Sowers has had to be sharp here. Barnegat's had a couple breaks. That last save by, well, not more or less a save. He didn't really touch the ball, but the angle cut down by Sowers was just as good as a save.
Frank's, again, doing a nice job, not only getting that to race to that ball, but also turning it around and getting it upfield.
Far side throwing right in front of the Barnegat bench for Sterling. 18 minutes remaining here in the first. Still no score. Missed header gives Frank the opportunity to clear it away. And now Barnegat has numbers the other way, but deflected away there by Sterling. Substitution for Barnegat.
And I think the tough thing for Sterling is trying to get around the edge. We talked about Frank's speed on the back end. It's going to be very difficult, even if you execute that through ball pass, to get around a kid like that with his speed and his ability to recover.
Patel checks into the game, and he will have the throw-in honors for the Bengals. Sterling able to clear it away with some momentum. Barnegat throw-in right at midfield. Haven't seen the mist come in here. Sun trying to poke out a little bit. Our view, we can actually see a little bit better off in the distance. But these off and on drizzle / light rain showers are going to be in the forecast for the remainder of the afternoon.
I know when I was coming back, it definitely felt like things were clearing up a little bit. But like you said, you're going to have periods of both dryness and misty weather.
See the Barnegat Bay off in the distance, as well as Long Beach Island, which is much less quiet now than it is between May and beginning of September, that's for sure. About 20 miles outside of Toms River. Edwards controlling, finds the foot of Sterling, and will be cleared forward. Pushing up now is Fisher. Fisher trying to push the offense. And the Sterling defense collapses yet again, but finds the foot of Patel. Inside the 18, headed away, but not out. Berkeley helps it along. Far side, Gomez. Gomez turns a corner, sends it across. Man wide open, shot, score. Off the head of Matthew White, and the Bengals strike first. It's 1-0.
And you could kind of see that coming because you could see a Barnegat team that was doing a good job passing the ball at midfield, and it added up to them getting some attack time and really spread themselves out. And they were able to convert on that one.
I mean, you saw Michael Sowers just caught on that front post, looking to maybe stop a low cross, but he played to the back post and had two Barnegat attackers, and nothing Sterling could really do.
Matt White on the goal. The assist, credit to Justin Gomez. So a pair of seniors scoring in the first round of the South Jersey Group 2 playoffs to open the scoring. 1-0 Barnegat. Just about 15 and a half remaining, and that you could see that setup coming a mile away.
Yeah, and it was just a matter of Gomez winning that race to the loose ball, and he saw White coming in from that opposite end, and obviously Mike Sowers had no shot at that one.
We mentioned earlier in the open, Sterling coming into this game after a 6-game win streak, all in conference, lost their last 3 contests. Well, check that, they tied Haddonfield, but winless in their last 3 contests, and then of those 3 games, they only had 1 goal to show for it in that Haddonfield game.
Yeah, and I think the thing about this game is you're going against a back line that's very good not only at getting to the ball, but covering away from the ball. And you could see that in that last opportunity. They just came back and were spread out and had everybody covered.
Costello, nice little burst of speed on the near side, forces a deep throw in. And Barnegat is going to bring up Matt Cheney from the fullback position to throw it in deep. Just about 14 minutes left to go in this first. Nice give and go there, and it's just wide.
Wow.
I thought initially that went in, but it deflected away for a corner.
I agree with you. Real quick, it almost looked like that. And boy, that was a close call, no doubt about it.
Didn't miss that by much. Comes the third corner of the afternoon. Beautiful corner and just over the bar. I think they called somebody either for a push or an offside, either way.
Yeah, it was definitely nullified before the ball even connected with anybody. But Barnegat is a team that is going to get their restarts. And, boy, right now, the way this game is going, if you're Sterling, you want to get that next goal, no question about it, especially with the way Barnegat's pressuring. And on Sterling's end, they've got to find a way to get some offense. Really have not gotten to any type of an offensive rhythm.
Kevin Martin going to hand off to Rodriguez on the throw-in. We saw this a lot yesterday in the Cedar Creek game. I know, Kevin, you weren't there, but I know you caught some of the highlights. Sterling offensively really had nothing going on. They looked really flat in that first half, but made whatever second half adjustments they made. It was a completely different Sterling girls soccer team yesterday in that second half than it was in the first half.
Yeah, they'll do some things to get space, and that's what they need right now. But I'll tell you, like I said, this back line of Barnegat is very tough at not allowing you to get around the edge and covering what's away from the ball.
Nice hustle play there by Matthew White, the goal scorer. And how quick they are to restart it, this Barnegat team. Nice kick inside Costello. Booted away to the foot of Gomez. Gomez 1-on-2 in the back of Sterling for Edwards. Edwards all the way back to Cheney. Trying to go midfield, but picked off by Sterling and booted away. And Bruce Williams well offside. The official all over that one. Pretty easy call there on that far side.
And they're looking for that long pass to Williams. That's the second time we've seen it drawn offside. But, again, Sterling really hasn't been able to get into any type of a rhythm at midfield that's going to lead to them getting a good scoring opportunity.
Almost an opportunity here. I think that was Matthew White looking for his second, just kind of flailed the left leg up in the air and to deflect it away from Sowers.
But that was close. That was a close call. It kind of got behind the Sterling defense. They were caught off guard a little bit.
Caught me off guard.
Yeah. White's a kid with a lot of speed.
Sivry. Patel can't control, and now here comes Sterling. Williams now on the far side. He switched him a little bit there momentarily. I don't know if you saw this, Joey, or not. Williams was playing more on this right side early on in the game. They switched to genre.
Maybe they saw some from the defender on the other side that they could attack. Maybe he wasn't as fast as the other defender, and Bruce was his speed. If you have a player like that, I would be attacking maybe the weakest link.
Just about 10 minutes into this game. Glad you joined us here. Or excuse me, 10 minutes remaining here in this first half. It's 1-0 Barnegat on the goal by Matt White. The assist to Justin Gomez.
Yeah, and what you just saw there, guys, that's an example of what's been happening. You thought you had a good give-and-go opportunity, kind of mishit the pass. It slowed things up and just allowed the defense to recover.
Chance for Sterling here under the 10-minute mark. See if they can take advantage of it here. Official's going to mark off 10 yards. One-person wall set up right now for Barnegat. Everybody on the move now. Here comes the kick. A genre with the header and saved by Oliver. That's the opportunity that Sterling was looking for. That's their first real chance of the game.
Yeah, and that's that one that's kind of a little bit, not like a corner kick, a little bit further out. And you know, sometimes I think the one-time corner kicks are a lot tougher than that one right there. That was easier for the goaltender to follow and ultimately save.
Throw in for Sterling. 8:45 remaining in this first half. Winner faces either number 2 seed Oakcrest or Haddon Heights on Friday. Hard to believe that we're almost in the month of November, guys, but playoff soccer time. Good job here by Frank. Wow, look at the speed by Kenneth Frank, just really taking away any possible inch there on the field.
And not a bad job of a through ball right there. Just Frank, I'm just so impressed by his ability to recover against a speedy Simon Renthang.
Going to move the ball to the near side here. As Sterling going to make a pair of substitutions. Looks like Kevin Martin's going to take a seat for a moment. Looking for a genre, but off of the head of Sean Toner. Looking for Gomez. Gomez again. Double teamed. It's 3 white shirts back for Sterling. I think they've kind of got the memo on this kid, and he's creating a lot of offense.
Well, Gomez and White are really putting a lot of pressure on the Sterling back line there, especially on some of those through balls. But Sterling's credit right there, they were able to kind of keep up with Gomez and get the ball going back the other way.
Frankie. It's Frank, and that's going to be free kick opportunity for Sterling. Quick restart. You would have taken your time there and set more things up with that kind of strike only from about 25 yards out.
Yeah, and I think Simon Renthang right there just thought he'd catch the defense off guard, but came up a little bit short, and Barnegat was able to handle it.
Edwards tries to send it forward, deflected away by Sterling. Now Sterling going to come near side. Tries to spring a genre again. Here comes Speedy genre, 1-on-2. Takes a shot from distance off the crossbar.
And to me, that's the good play there. I know we don't win high, but right now, any potential shot you get, even from far out, fire away, because you had a defense of Barnegat that was getting back to cover that, had Genre try to get around the corner.
Under 6 to play. 1-0 on the goal by Matt White for Barnegat.
And back to what you said, Mr. Schultz, I mean, a shot from anywhere, I mean, we've seen a few times this hours, the ball's just skipped right to him. Faster than it would on just a dry grass. Maybe it skips right by him. He's not expecting it to come at him that fast. And
guys like Williams and Simon Renthang have the ability to score from pretty far out.
Barali on the far side. Nice defensive play there by Patel for Sterling's first corner, coming at the 5:18 mark of the first half.
Well, here's an opportunity. Again, the advantage in all the restarts and corners definitely go to Barnegat.
Well, they're going to say it's a long throw-in. That's the one you almost have to treat like a corner, though.
Yep.
Jake Vitale definitely has a long throw in, and that's something Sterling's going to have to use to their advantage later in this game.
Off of Renthang, swing and a miss by the defense of Barnegat. And goes for a Barnegat throw, and that's going to be. They're going to stop the clock. That's going to be a yellow card. Clearly a yellow card on Sterling.
It's going to be Alex Lainez. As you saw at the he was expecting that ball to be a throw for Sterling, so he let it go out. And when it was called the other way, he obviously was upset and I guess tried to kick the ball and missed it. And inadvertently hit the Barnegat player, and it's going to be a yellow for him. And Sterling's going to have to make a substitution and bring in Tony Collins.
.4:30 remaining here in this first half after the stoppage for the yellow card to Sterling's Alex Lainez. That's got to be frustrating, both as a player and as a coach, Joey, in that situation. Didn't need that there.
Now, Alex is a key player, and with a lot of game left to play, maybe he goes to making a tackle, and the ref sees it a different way, and he gets another yellow. Now Sterling's playing down. It's just a foul that's just a yellow card that Sterling did not need at this point in the game. Already losing 1-0 with about 4.5 minutes left in this game, in this half.
There's a push in the back on Barnegat. I believe that was Patel with the push. Under 3.5. Opportunity from distance here, still a ways out, but Sterling can bunch in the 18, bunch everybody inside the 18 here. Might, if you got a better kick, you might have gotten an opportunity there, but finding on the near side, it's Vasquez.
I think that was actually a design play. You know, you saw what's his name, Alexis Sanchez actually come out before Tangier even struck the ball. I think he was trying to play it in quick and then just play it to the corner and try and turn this almost into a corner kick.
I'll tell you who's getting a workout today is the ball kids. You take a look at the off in the distance there, our vantage point. And we said this earlier, on a more clear day here, a crystal clear day, man, the sightlines must be incredible with all the fall foliage. Here comes Gomez. Gomez working one-on-one with Lainez, who's back into the game. And they're going to call that against Gomez.
That's a great job by Alex Lainez right there. And I think the Sterling defense is getting used to the speed of Gomez and White and accounting for it and just kind of cheating back there a little bit earlier on some of their rushes upfield.
Williams with a nice little burst of speed, working one-on-one with Fisher. Williams, can he make the turn? He can, and he's going to fire it. I believe that's deflected, and that will be a corner. This will be Sterling's first corner.
Well, that's good hustle by Williams up to that left side, creating this corner right here. You can see, tried to get a net. Fisher deflected it. But again, whether it's Franks or Fisher back on the back end of Barnegat, they're able to avoid any Sterling forward, getting around that edge.
Under 90 seconds left to go in the half. On the restart from the corner, the opportunity was there. It's still inside the 18, and Oliver comes out with 2 hands and grabs it with 60 seconds left to go.
Well, we're to the point now where the last thing you want is a goal in the last couple minutes here if you're Sterling.
3-on-2, swept away, and now a corner on the way. And they're going to have to go quick. 45 seconds remaining. Grady Edwards will take the corner.
Yeah, we'll take this because White almost had a beat on that one. Just wanted to get that one out of the middle.
Edwards on the corner. Edwards off the wall. Is that going to be another corner? Nope, they're going to say 6 kick. And for all intent and purposes,
yeah,
this will be it. Sterling should be in no rush here with 10 seconds. Not much of a rush you can make up the field with 10 seconds left to go. You'll hear the horn in just a second. And that will do it for the first half. Barnegat leads 1-0 at the half off the goal from Matt White, the assist to Justin Gomez. And we'll get off to a quick break. Come back, wrap up the first half, look forward to the second half right here on Sterling Channel 19 right after this.
Check, check. All right, everybody. Mr. K, Tad Kazaniski back with you here with our live audience. There we go. All right. The sound, tell me the sound is working. Hi, I'm listening to myself. We were testing the sound. We had some question that the sound was not working. I don't know. Well, we're live here. When you guys want to jump in, we're giving Mr. Strauss a break now. We're told that is Barnegat Bay out there that we're looking at. Yeah, Barnegat Bay you're looking at out there. And usually you see, we were told there is now we can actually even see a water tower out there in the distance. I guess, is that Barnegat's water tower, Rob? Do you have any guess? But the Bay and
Way out there,
the one to.
after the water tower, you can kind of make out, I believe that's Barnegat Light.
All right, I'm looking at that water tower at the moment right there. All right, you're saying go way right. There's one water tower.
The scoreboard to the right corner of the scoreboard should be Barnegat Light.
There's a Barnegat Lighthouse here. That's pretty cool. Somewhere in that distance.
Conference guru.
Rob Strauss, who was born and raised in this area. Mr. Schulz, let's bring you back in. We'll talk a little bit here. And Mr. Lomas, if you want to join in, you're welcome to join in too here at halftime. Mr. Lomas, we'll start with you. What were your thoughts of the first half as from Sterling's standpoint?
I thought Sterling. I thought in the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it was pretty even, and then you saw that that the defense of Barnegat got a feel for how the Sterling attackers were going to play. Obviously, trying to play Kaz and Bruce through, and then they started to get on a few counters, a few quick breakaways, 3-on-2s, and you saw their goal came off of just a little transition from defense to offense, and they worked the ball in the corner and crossed it, and Mike Sowers was caught a little off guard, and they were able to get a 1-0 lead.
And White and Gomez really work well together. But, other than that goal, it seemed to me towards the end of the first half, Sterling defensively was kind of turning the tide a little bit, wasn't allowing some of the forwards to get around the corner like you had seen them do earlier. They weren't creating as much space, and I think Sterling, realized how quick these guys are when you're talking about White and Gomez, and realized you kind of have to cheat an extra step back when these guys get the ball to them, and kind of
Getting a good look here. I'm giving you a shout out to some of the complex here. I've had a chance to come here with the Sterling baseball team, Kevin. We had a chance to face Jason Groom twice on that field. Jason Groom was a first-round draft pick for the Red Sox who's had some injuries, but a really nice complex here. The school is relatively recently new. When this school was built, they took students away from Southern Regional to put this school in. And, again, as you see in the distance, I'll zoom in a little bit here. You can see that's Long Island just across the bay around the top of the trees there. Pretty neat sight. On a sunny day, it's got to be pretty cool looking up here.
It's always impressive when you see a baseball field, a high school baseball field that has that high fence, almost like a major league field in the outfield. You don't see that much in high school.
That's one of the advantages you have here, and that's actually a wooden fence. As I'll zoom in, it's wooden the whole way around. Yeah, it's a permanent fence. Unfortunately, it's Sterling. We're kind of landlocked as baseball. We share with the soccer field, so that's something we're not able to do on the baseball field. But here in a newer school that was built back in, I guess, the edges of the Pinelands, they have the ability here to put quite a few fields out there.
You have land, that's for sure.
You certainly do, and very wet out here, and overall the wetness hasn't been that much of a factor in this game. I heard Lomas talking about the ball scooting along a little bit, but for the most part, the wetness has not been a huge factor.
You haven't seen many slips or falls from the wet turf. And one thing early on we noticed, we saw the speed of White and Gomez, but also Barnegat really did a good stifling Sterling offensively with their ability to recover. You saw Frankel on the back end do a real good job avoiding Williams or Simon Renthang, their efforts to get around the corner.
What do you think Coach Marley's is saying to the players right now as they get ready for the second half?
I think he's excuse me. I think he's obviously telling them what they need to do offensively and defensively. At this point in the game, I wouldn't put too much pressure on your offense. You still have a whole 40 minutes to play. So for Sterling, the focus right now should be maybe playing a little bit of possession, just getting everybody used to how this game is going to go. And I would, if anything, just bail from the back, start with your defense, and work your way up just like this Barnegat team did. And Sterling should be looking good.
Yeah, hopefully they get something going offensively. They have a couple players who can definitely get that done. They just got to get in the mix. As you see, we talked about earlier, Mr. Sheen here, our principal. His son is a freshman in the program. We're told the freshman team is going to have a heck of a team when these guys come up and get playing here, Kev.
And, yeah, you have freshmen and you have a lot of guys who are getting varsity experience for the first time this year. Of course, they lost a lot last year. Obviously, Brian Andrade, Jake Scully on the back end, Andrade on offense. And, this is a team that's going to get better, definitely, as you move into next year. And like you said, with the influx of the freshmen next year being second-year players, that's definitely going to have an impact.
Well, Coach Marley's with a long talk with his team. On the other end, I think you have to think Barnegat's got to feel like on their end, they're pretty happy where they were. The coach talked a couple minutes. They loosened up. They're taking it easy, a little different approach.
Yeah, they were. And, they really offset Sterling's adjustment. We talked, Joe, about how they put Williams on the opposite side, maybe get a better matchup. But Barnegat was equal on that one with Fisher coming away and doing a good job bottling up Williams.
Well, we're here in the halftime show brought to you by the pizza place that Mr. Schulz just got the pizza from. We're giving to Mr. Strauss. It's pretty good pizza, too. Naples Pizza. Thank you to them, Mr. Schulz. We all put our money together. You're hungry and you have a chance to get lunch. So we're just about set, and it looks like we got about 20 seconds to go here until we bring Rob back and get ready for second half action. So what we'll do is we will get ready as the teams come back out. I'll hand my headphones to Mr. Schulz. I'll go back to camera. There's your headphones there. Mr. Schulz, I think, is going to jump on
going
his
for
last
round
pizza.
4?
Round 4 pizza. Oh, he brought it, so he could. See, that's the one advantage, Maybe
yeah.
I knew coming in. I wasn't announcing today, so I was half eating pizza while I was filming the camera today. I tell my kids always use 2 hands, my students, and I'm here using 1 hand trying to eat the pizza with it.
Good for you, though.
But we tried.
It's
You're
multitasking.
hungry? Yeah, you got to go for it when you can.
Naples Pizza, huh?
It tastes very much like Nuccio's. Very good.
Yeah, dig it.
But
I like it.
At this point, we would eat anything, I think.
I'll tell you what, that was the first thing I've eaten all day, so I was good with that.
Bueno,
sure.
right?
It is bueno for sure.
What we'll do is I'll let you bring our taped audience back here in a second. I'll give you a little wide shot, and then are you ready for the honors? All right, here we go, Robbie.
1-0 Barnegat as we start the second half live here from Barnegat, New Jersey. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Joey Lomas, and Tad Kozaneski bringing you all the action right here on Channel 19 via YouTube. And for our taped audience, welcome. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this first half on a weird, kind of a misty kind of afternoon here. And the mist seems to have subsided momentarily. It's come in and out in waves, but Sterling in a 1-0 hole to start this second half. The goal from Matt White at the 15:47 mark. Beautiful header into the back of the net, and Sowers had absolutely no chance on that. So Sterling will start on defense as they open the first half with possession. They will switch ends, and the Bengals will now go from left to right. Far side now for the Bengals. Done a great job defensively and creating space. Did the Bengals. Here comes Gomez. Again, Gomez, Sowers, knows where his line is, and that Joey Lomas just gave me a look. And what are your thoughts on that one there, Joey?
That ball seemed like it hit off the outside of the post and was luckily bounced out of bounds, but that is a risky move there, hoping that that you know your position right. But Sowers, 4th-year senior goalkeeper.
That's confidence in the position,
Yes.
I think is what they would call that in the business. So Barnegat looking for another goal here, an insurance marker, as they would call it. Got to think, Joey, here, the next goal is pivotal in this one. Either Sterling ties it up or Barnegat kind of puts the clamps down even more at 2-0.
For sure, because we saw yesterday, and there's offsides. We saw yesterday with the girls soccer team, they were down 1-0, and they were able to pull it back 2-2, send it to overtime, but went to penalties. And as we were talking about earlier, penalties is not a place you want to be, especially if you lose, because then you feel like you are at a disadvantage. But
Edwards sends it forward and swept away by Sterling. Last line of defense there, and it's going to be a throw-in for the Bengals. Able to turn, headed away, high up in the air. Berkeley. Some of the members of the Barnegat girls team to our right checking out this one as well. Williams with the speed. Williams, some space, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And Zach Oliver comes out and makes the save. Had Williams one-on-one, so we saw the aggressiveness from Sowers earlier, and Oliver equal to that task as well.
On that play, you saw it was Bruce and the goalie one-on-one, and the goalie was way out of the net on that one. I think you just got to try put some over him, and there's going to be an obvious foul there, pushing the back on Josh Moreland, the freshman.
That's Alex Zaniga, the senior, commits a foul, and Renthang tries to force the corner, but good job by the Barnegat defense to only force a throw-in.
There's 2 plays there in a row. You see Sterling getting long balls to their 2 most attacking players, I would say. Their most offensive threats. Bruce Williams with speed and Simon Renthang just all around.
Vital to throw it in from the far side inside the 18. Pinballs off of Berkeley's head. And it will be a corner kick. Corner kick number 2 on the way for Sterling. I believe that is Tanju Sivri is going to.
Yeah, real good opportunity here for Sterling.
Right-footed kick, beautiful corner opportunity, but headed away. Player goes down for Barnegat at the 6, but is up quickly.
Good job of Barnegat getting a lot of bodies to the point where that ball landed. Wasn't in a bad spot. Sterling was just outnumbered.
Hedlund sends it forward. I believe in an offside position either way was Tyler Quinn, who came way up from his defensive position in that transition run. And now he will trot back to where he's supposed to be defensively. And there's Kenneth Frankie doing a great job and absolutely buried by Genre. Genre's going to put his hands up, but that was an obvious foul there.
Yeah, no question about it. It was definitely not on the ball, and it was up high, too. So almost surprised he didn't get a yellow card for that.
I agree, because I saw the elbow come up as well, and had that happened on the other side of the field, I think it would have been a different situation, but the official on probably a good 50, 60 yards away. Berkeley heads it forward, tries to get to a Genre. Nice little cut move, but again, the Barnegat defense everywhere, Kevin.
Rob, that's a good example. Of what's been happening all day, and one of the reasons why Sterling hasn't been able to get any rhythm in their midfield play offensively to force things up. They're just doing a lot of long balls, and we're, as a consequence of that, we're seeing some offsides, but Barnegat is just really bottling Sterling up.
Berkeley, nice through ball, tries to find a Genre, but look at the closing speed of Ryan Fisher. Absolutely nullifies any opportunity. There's Fisher again.
Yeah, we see that from Fisher, Franks.
Williams triple teamed. Severe disadvantage there. Berkeley working one-on-one with Matthew White. Sterling still in possession. Cleared away by Sean Toner. And we'll just kick it out for a throw-in. About 6 minutes into this second half. Sterling trailing 1-0 on the goal by Matt White.
So Barnegat really continues to win these battles and races to the loose ball. Something we saw early on. Sterling kind of negated that a little bit in the end of the half, but they're continuing to do it in the second half.
Williams, shot save over the bar. It went off of the crossbar of the football goalpost. Zach Oliver with his best save of the day, and it will be a Sterling corner.
And just an opportunity like that, Joe's got to give Sterling confidence. It's the first really good point-blank opportunity.
If that ball's about a foot lower, this game is even.
Sivri. Williams. Plenty of open space. May have taken too long there. Did Sivri. And it goes out for a throw-in. I think just that one extra move, they should have taken the shot, but easy for us to say up here in the booth.
Yeah, you just want to unload it on it at that point because you give the defender that extra split second to come in and kind of break things up.
Jake Vitale on the long throw-in, aiming for the 6. It's just sitting there, cleared away, handball against Sterling.
Now that's one you could see pretty easily. You see the ball go there and just change direction. But in any event, guys, that's the first really good sustained pressure Sterling's had on Barnegat, deep in the Barnegat end of the field, and that's an encouraging sign.
A lot of possession here by Barnegat. And they're just creating a lot of space. Good passing by the Bengals. And this is an onside play coming to the near side. Quinn. One-on-one, Quinn turns a corner, and he's going to force a corner. That's going to be corner number 4 for the Bengals.
And it all started, Rob, with good ball movement at midfield, something Barnegat's been able to do, but that's an area where Sterling just has really struggled on.
Shoe issue, equipment issue here. As we approach the 31-minute mark. Grady Edwards to reset from the corner. Edwards punched away by Sowers. The ball still inside the 18. White again with another opportunity out of play, and it will be a Barnegat throw.
Good job of Sterling. That's probably the best job they've done defending a corner kick, and that was a corner kick that went to a good spot.
Off the head of Vitale. Barnegat still controls a 1-on-3, and this near side corner is Quinn. Booted away by Sterling. Quinn will have another opportunity for a throw-in.
And it's easy for us to say, but if I'm Quinn right there, when I get on that ball, I'm just unloading on it because it looked like Barnegat had numbers close to the net.
It's going to be a whistle, and it's going to be a card. Looks like Grady Edwards is holding up his hand, trying to see what the yellow card was for. I didn't see any. Did you, Joey? I didn't see anything.
It seems like right now both teams are confused. You can obviously hear the parents down there asking what he did, and maybe he said something to the other team, or I mean. It just seems like confusion down there right now.
Well, it's confusion up here, too, because we can't figure out what that yellow card was actually for, as Edwards will go off momentarily. Interesting. Nonetheless, clock restarts, about a half hour remaining here in this second half. Sterling in need of a goal to keep their season alive. They've had opportunities here in this second half, more so in this second half than I think they did in the first.
No question about it. I mean, that last opportunity for about a minute and a half was by far their most sustained period of attack time.
Genre with some space, but out comes Oliver.
We see again that wet grass playing a factor into that one.
I have to wonder how wet that grass actually is still. I mean, there's a nice little breeze coming through here. Coming from the far side of the field to the near side. Berkeley, no foul, and there's a foul on White. Berkeley went to the turf. Sterling restarts quickly in transition. But again, Barnegat defense all over it.
Just when you thought Simon Renthag had an advantage on that far side, Barnegat, just as they've been doing all day, really closed in on him.
Heel play there for Gomez. Numbers for Barnegat the other way. Onside play, shot over the line and out of play. A diving Mike Sowers to his left. I don't know if he got a fingertip on it, but the officials are going to say goal kick.
And a good job of Barnegat staying on side. You know, that's a play that Sterling has struggled on, but Barnegat had some numbers up there ahead, and we're able to get a shot off, but good job by Michael Sowers being equal to it.
Genre given some space. Somehow that squeaked through 4 members of the Bengal defense. Quinn. They're going to switch fields wisely as Sterling was collapsing on the near side. Nice ball to the far side. Barnegat just seems to almost, Kevin, like they have an extra player out there.
They definitely have numbers, whether it's on the defensive end or on the offensive end on these balls going ahead. We usually have one person going ahead, but yeah, they're covering a lot of the field. Like you said, it almost looks like there's more Barnegat players out there.
Sterling going to make 4 substitutions. Almost like a full line change. Berkeley going to check out. Williams going to check out, as well as Bivik Barali. Not quite in the push the defense up part of the show yet, but flirting with it. Have to think around that 15-minute mark is where that. I mean, Joey, you play the game. At what point does a coach say, "Hey, we're down a goal, we're down 2 goals. When do you start pushing up?"
I wouldn't, obviously not yet. I would say maybe around the 10-minute mark, maybe when it seems like your defense almost has like the game on lockdown. Maybe you have a few good offensive attacks and you just need that extra player to just put the ball in the net.
Sent in by Edwards. Edwards looking for the far post. Punched away by Sowers, who absolutely got buried. And it will be a foul. Nice tackle by Barnegat on the play.
Again, we see Mike Sowers coming off his line, the same as he did on the one corner, to come out and just deflect the ball in the opposite direction because that Barnegat player was right there and inadvertently hit Sowers, obviously trying to get a header, but.
Comes Josh Garcia now checked into the game for Sterling, trying to generate some kind of offense with Williams on the bench. Sterling had a wide open player on this near side who could have sprung him, and almost a spring there for Justin Gomez.
The wet field. The first time we've seen the wet field come into play, saw Michael Ermel about 30 seconds ago slip at midfield. Haven't seen that happen a lot.
.25 minutes remaining in a 1-0 game live here from Barnegat. Glad you joined us here on Sterling TV 19. Rob Strauss, Kevin Schulz, Joey Lomas, and Tad Kozaneski. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast. If you're watching back in Silver Knight territory, or if some of the hometown Bengals may have picked up the broadcast, welcome to the broadcast. Winner moves on to play on Friday against either Oakcrest or Haddon Heights. Sauer's going to direct everybody here as he boots another one away. Nice kick by Sowers. Genre, and again, the defense of Kenneth Frankie, the junior defender, is having one heck of a game.
He's cut off probably about 4 or 5 potential one-on-one opportunities. That's what you had almost happen right there. But the good news is Sterling's really tightening it up back in their own defensive end.
Looking for Headland. Tries to turn a corner, cannot. Good defense there by Rodriguez. Sterling, I believe that's Ren Thang, went flying there. No call. Looking for the call against White.
Fans are calling for offside.
No offside there. Sterling with some numbers in transition. And you know who is right there. That's Kenneth Frank, and that's going to be a foul against Sterling. And he's been a defensive absolute stalwart today for the Bengals.
And, Rob, you mentioned the key word I think you said right there. I think Sterling's best chance right now is quickly get something in transition, because if this back line of Barnegat has any time to get back, once you're delayed a little bit, they just really make it difficult. Again, we talked about how they cover away from the ball. They don't allow you to get around the corner. You couple those two things, and that's why it's just very difficult to generate any offensive opportunities.
No call there as White went into the turf.
A very spirited crowd.
Yeah.
Obviously
the
upset on that
referees
one.
know how they feel.
I know at some point they wind up going to a 3 official system with the linesmen. I don't think that happens, I believe, until the semifinals, where you have the line, the officials running the lines, the assistant referees, and then the head referee running the middle of the field.
And I think an area where that would have came into play was that hit on this near side when you had the referee on the far side.
Garcia dispossessed, and they're going to call a foul on Cheney. And with 22 minutes left, this is a brilliant opportunity here for Sterling to get the equalizer.
Golden opportunity. You don't know how many more they're going to get like this. And, boy, it's good of a restart opportunity as you're going to get.
And that was a great job by the freshman Josh Mullen, almost to put himself in a position to be fouled. And it's going to give Sterling and Simon Renthang a great opportunity to tie this game up.
Renthang from about 23 yards out. Low line drive headed away. I don't think that's not the ball that you wanted there, but deflected on by Ermel and right into the waiting arms of Zach Oliver.
Yeah, and almost had a real good opportunity there in that second shot off the rebound. It went way out, but wasn't quite able to get it to Ermel.
Defense. Just the possession and the ball control that this team has is really brilliant here today for the Bengals. Slide tackle away by Sivry, I believe that is, Joey.
Yeah.
That would be Tangier Slivery.
Good job by Sivry there, just staying on the ball and avoiding a speedy Barnegat forward from getting around him on the edge.
Vital sends it forward for Renthang. Renthang, 1-on-2. Here comes Ryan Fisher to aid in the defense. He's the first man there. Fisher against Renthang, and it will be a Barnegat throw.
Boy, whether it's Fisher or Franks, very good at negating any advantage we have from some of our skilled players. Renthang right there. Of course, early on, they were able to catch up with Williams and redirect it the other way.
Renthang going to trot off to the near side as Sterling makes a trio of substitutions. Josh Garcia going to come to the near side. Under 20 to play. What a throw by Kenneth Frankie. Is there anything this guy can't do? Headed forward. Here comes White. White, left-footed shot, and off the post. Off the pipe on that far side. He had Sowers beat.
Yeah, and he had Sowers going one way, and then, boy, the post
Sowers
saved the day right there.
Out again. That could have spelled disaster for Sterling. If that's 2 inches to the right, that goes off the post and in. But that hit the pipe about as square as you can hit it. And Sterling very fortunate to keep this a 1-goal game. They're 1 shot away from tying this.
I'm actually going to have to disagree with you, Mr. Strauss, on that last one. I think if that was 2 inches closer to Sowers, I think he might have had a save on it.
Laws of physics. Joey Lomas, a physics connoisseur. White looking in the middle, back and forth to White. White trying to send it across. He does. Diving save by Sowers. As there was a man open for the Bengals, and he just slipped as he cut backwards.
Well, that was a great job of Sowers stepping in front of it because, like you said, Rob, there was a forward right there, and he was ready to get a one-time opportunity. But a good job of Michael Sowers cutting that one off.
Sterling. Williams makes the turn. Williams fouled, and they don't make the call. The official keeps the whistle in the pocket as Williams was fouled, potentially.
Boy, coach is livid on that far side. That was definitely one where he was brought down. I don't think there's any question about it.
You could see the ref actually had the whistle in his mouth and was ready to call the foul and decided not to. And I think that's what fueled Coach Marley's to.
17:20 to play in the second half. Sterling in need of a goal to keep their season alive. Williams, 50-50 ball one. Good no call there. Give and go. Looking for Williams. Williams trying to save it, and going down on both knees is Zach Oliver right into the midsection. And you can see Sterling starting to push a little bit more.
They really are. And the physical play on the defensive end is picking up for Barnegat. We saw the one we thought he was brought down. Again, you saw a physical play against Williams, probably about that 30-yard line. So Barnegat, can see Sterling now is really trying to push ahead. Like you said, we're nearing the 16 and a half minute mark.
Headed forward off the head of Justin Gomez. Booted away by Sivry. Or not. Near side official saying a deflection. A Sterling throw. But Barnegat gets possession right back. Love having the field mic open.
Some of the fans obviously upset with some of the calls this ref was making. Obviously, the questionable yellow card earlier in this half, and
that yellow card went against Grady Edwards, and he must have said the magic word because we didn't see any contact or anything that would have warranted a yellow card. So something must have been said.
Definitely wasn't on the play.
Coach Marley is going to make 4 substitutions again. And this looks like the starters are all back in. Kevin Martin, Michael Berkeley, Simon Renthang, all back into the contest for Sterling.
And Casimir Genre on the far side.
Good call. That might be get him a little bit of rest before the final push.
Yeah, going to use the legs a lot with the push, and even, in doing that, if you have to recover from a Bengals team that can definitely do some damage in transition.
Speaking of transition, here come the Bengals again, 1-on-2. 1-on-2 is White, and a save by Sowers. Had a man running to the far post, and that was all the goal scorer Matt White needed. Just needed a little bit of room and created a nice opportunity.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen Michael Sowers cut off a crossing pass in the last couple minutes. That would have been ticketed for the goal.
Renthang just barely offside. He had Kenneth Frankie beaten. Very interesting to see how this Barnegat team responded after losing 3 of their last 4 games coming into this playoff game. Their only win, a 2-1 decision at Jackson Liberty. 3 of those 4 games were all on the road.
Yeah, I know I talked to Coach down there, and he said they definitely had some injuries, and that had an effect. But, They were definitely sputtering also. Weren't playing that well with the people they had out there. Well, here's another opportunity for Sterling.
Throw in for Vitale. Inside the 18. Sowers way out of his cage now and boots it away. Nice decision there, Mike Sowers, as Justin Gomez was bearing down on him.
Yeah, Gomez definitely had a beat on the defender right there, so that's a good move there by Sowers.
Edwards playing with that yellow card. Looking for White. White eludes one. White looking across the middle. Shot saved by Sowers, his best of the game. That could be a game saver. Another one back to back. Mike Sowers keeping Sterling in this.
Well, that's what great goalies do. And on consecutive shots, Sowers first leaned one way and then was able to stop that blast that was definitely headed to the upper right corner. What an outstanding job by Michael Sowers.
Corner number 5 on the way for the Bengals. Grady Edwards again will serve it up. Edwards, diving header attempt, goes awry, and Vitale giving a chase, and it will go out of play for a Barnegat throw-in. Edwards looking across the middle for White. I'll check that. That's not White. That's Gomez, excuse me. And now Sowers telling everybody to move up as, Joey, we're approaching that 10-minute mark that you had mentioned earlier. If you're Coach Marley's, is this the time you start to push?
I mean, you just saw probably the 2 biggest saves of this game and probably this season from Michael Sowers. And now your whole team is just energized. And this is the time right now to send maybe an extra attacker up and just try and get a goal here in your last 10 minutes and send this to overtime and maybe even PKs.
Inside the 18, nice save there of his own by Zach Oliver. So that's a goalie duel right now. And now watch out in transition. Here comes Matt White. Sowers way out of his cage. White controls it. White wins the battle. Sowers sprinting backwards. And a Rodriguez got his foot up high on White and no call.
Kind of letting him play out there right now, but boy, White, again, we've talked about his speed all day. Had a beat on the defender, and great job again of Michael Sowers coming out.
After a pretty tightly played contest for 2/3 of this game, this last 10 minutes has really opened up.
You saw it was the second time Sowers came about 20, 30 yards out of off his line, and you saw the first time that's what happens when you play smart like that, and that was the bad side right there.
Genre against Frankie. He hasn't won one of those battles all day. Just too quick for a very speedy Genre, and that's saying a lot about the junior defenseman, Kenneth Frankie.
Yeah, I don't think Sterling's going to get around the edge. I think their advantage here is going to be off of a corner kick or some type of restart down low.
Possession here is Genre with a little bit of space. One times it's shot and saved over the top of the bar by Zach Oliver. Genre created a little bit of space and took a really nice shot. Zach Oliver pushes it over the bar.
And Genre was defended, but a great job of, like you said, Rob, creating space and almost kind of recreating his own offensive opportunity, because it looked like he had it initially. The defender was there and did a good job getting a shot off, but another great save.
Berkeley tries to climb the ladder and get it up off the top of the bar. Headed away by Frankie. Some nervous moments here for both teams. Vitale at midfield controls it. Off of Martin, or excuse me, White. White Looking for Gomez. Gomez bowled over, no call. White doesn't like the call, and neither do about 100 other officials here on the stands.
But you know what? They're letting both teams play, so
They're calling it.
it's equal both
It's equal.
ways,
I
yeah.
agree.
Yep.
I agree with you.
I mean, we had the play earlier where Bruce Williams was taken down on the penalty spot.
Yeah, good point, Joe.
Some tense moments here in the last 7 or 8 minutes as this game has really opened up.
It's almost become a back and forth game of keepers making great saves and defenders having to make big plays.
Call against Barnegat there. Jesse Headland called for the foul. It's going to make for a very interesting 7 3/4 minutes, boys.
Sure will. Sterling has definitely got more opportunities the last couple minutes than I think they've had all game when you're talking about the quality opportunities that they're getting.
Vitale with the throw in to our left. Here, Berkeley. 50-50 ball. And that should be a Sterling throw, and it is. Running start for Vitale. Headed towards the back post. Renthang is there, but so is Tyler Quinn, among others. Cheney in there to help. Sivry called for the foul. No, excuse me, that's Rodriguez called for the foul.
And that's one you're definitely going to see called because it was nowhere near the ball.
Yeah.
So that's an easy one to call. They're letting them play to an extent, but that one's got to be called. And that's a tough one for Sterling because it looked like they were going to get another opportunity there. Time definitely winding down here as we're at the 6.5 minute mark.
Barnegat content with letting Sterling go the length of the field. Gomez, as well as Costello, the only forwards there for the Bengals. Picked off by Zaniga. Zaniga with some space. Zaniga goes in the middle of the field. Zaniga gets it back and will force almost a corner. Shot by Costello is muted. Costello finds it back. Open on the far side, deflected away by Rodriguez, and will be a Barnegat corner.
And they're getting a corner, but right now that's probably the best thing Sterling could ask for because they needed that ball to be out of play to get things settled because Sterling right there was really reeling back on their own end.
A few Sterling defenders had a chance to clear that one. Tanju had it on the goal line, and Kevin Martin just had a miss kick, and this is probably the best situation of what could have happened on that play.
Corner coming in from the far side. Bicycle kick opportunity there, whistle.
Handball.
And a handball against Barnegat. I believe they're going to stop the clock. I'm not sure. Yeah, they are going to stop the clock here with 5:01 remaining. And a yellow card has been issued. Yellow card assessed to Alex Zaniga.
And who got the first one? Was that
Edwards. Edwards had the first one.
So Barnegat will remain with 11 players in the field.
So 2 Barnegat players with a yellow card, Edwards and Zaniga. Five minutes remaining as they stop the clock momentarily for the yellow card. Sterling in need of a goal. Here comes a genre. That ball might stop for him. Is not going to. About a half a step short, and he's quick. Ball skidded on him just a little too far.
And you see Barnegat right now just taking their time. No need to hurry, having the lead here.
Frank booted forward. Kicked away, and it will be a throw for Tyler Quinn. Field hockey just underway. Lower Cape May, early 1-0 lead in the first half. So good luck to the girls. They also trail by the same score that we have here.
Girls field hockey team just
What a
having
run.
an outstanding year, an outstanding playoff run here.
Traveled to Pinelands and upset Pinelands. So shout out to Coach Eric and the job that she's done with that squad. Another opportunity. Sowers well off his line. Aggressive play by Sowers. This could be a 2 or 3-0 game easily here, Joe, if it wasn't for Michael Sowers.
Michael Sowers making probably the biggest saves of this season. Hopefully, Sterling can get a goal here and have it pay off.
We approach the 3-minute mark of the second half. Sivry sends it forward. Right into the defense of Matthew Cheney, who sends it into the Sterling bench.
Yeah, Mike Sowers really couldn't have done much more in this game. He's just, like you said, Rob, kept them in it. It could be a 3-0 game at this point at least.
2 diving saves back-to-back at about the 15-minute mark really were his best of the game, if not of the season so far. Really brilliant saves by the netminder.
Very impressive just throughout the season as it reacted to rebounds.
Onside play, Sowers dives and pushes it over the line for a corner kick. Now they're going to say 6 kick. Sowers apparently did not get his hands on it.
Sowers there, off his line.
Very much so. Sowers sends it forward. Off the head of White. Bengals, no problem letting Sterling go 3/4 of the way through the field with under 2 remaining here in the second half. Another Sterling throw right at midfield.
Well, Sterling's sending everybody up, and you could see Barnegat's really got everybody bunched back there.
It's a sea of orange between the 40-yard line and the 20-yard line. Sterling's going to have to crack this defense. They haven't been able to do so all day. Quinn on the throw-in. Now he'll leave it for Frankie. 90 seconds left to go in the game unless Sterling gets the equalizer. Frankie sends it forward. Nice throw by Frankie. Off the head of Costello. Frankie's caught now. Renthang giving chase. Here comes Williams. Williams. Does he force the throw? I believe he does.
Well, this is it. This is your, with a minute left, you're not going to get a better opportunity than this.
Even Sowers making his way to the midfield stripe. Vitale throws it in. Heads it away. Swing and a miss opportunity for Rodriguez. He could have one time. It was a difficult play. And now 3-on-1. Here comes Gomez. Gomez, 3-on-1 the other way. Gomez has options. He goes to White. White controls against Renthang, under 30 to play. White goes, no foul called. And now it's going to be a quick throw-in. Linez, 15 to play. Sterling is going to run out of time. Unless Lejeanre can get a boot on this. 7 seconds remaining. Lejeanre has it kicked away by Kenneth Frankie, and the game ends off the foot of Frankie. And why not? He had an incredible game defensively for the Bengals, and Sterling's season comes to an end.
Well, that was the story of the day, what they were able to do on the defensive end. Of course, took advantage of the offensive opportunity they had and scored a goal, but definitely solid on the defensive end and really, maneuvered well at midfield. And this is a well-deserved win here for Barnegat.
Great game by the Bengals, Joey, and some points that you took out of today.
you see again, Sterling giving up an early goal. Nothing you can really do about it. Just no one really there to cover, and then they just had a great ball to the corner and were able to play it in. But Sterling, in the second half, you saw a lot more offensive opportunities. You saw one ball off the crossbar, but that was probably their best chance. You saw maybe a foul in the box that was not called, and the refs actually this half were really upsetting both sides, but Sterling just couldn't put one away. More opportunities, just nothing to show for it. Great game by Sowers, though.
Yeah. Like we said, Joe, I mean, weren't for Mike Sowers, you could be talking about a 3-0 win for Barnegat. They got the most offensive opportunities. Probably, I don't know how many corner kicks they had, but definitely had more of the corner kicks. But Sowers was not only great on the initial shots, but even on some rebounds where a lesser goalie would have been able to wouldn't have stopped them.
So Barnegat, the number 7 seed, moves on. They will face either Oak Crest, the number 2 seed, or Haddon Heights, the number 15 seed, on Friday. And for Sterling, that's the end of a very good season, Kevin. They're going to finish this season 9-8-2, just a game over 500. But you look at some of the players that are going to be coming back. They're built for the future, and they've got a really good freshman class coming in this year. And they're just going to get better as the time goes on.
A good freshman class, and I think the fact that you've got a lot of guys who this year were playing varsity soccer for the first time and improved immensely from the beginning of the year till the end is something that you really have to feel good about going into next year.
So what we'll do is we'll wrap this one up. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us here on the Channel 19 YouTube live stream. Your final score here from Barnegat, 1-0 off of the goal from, that was, I believe, it was White. Yeah, yep, Mr. White had a, Matt White, beautiful goal off the head of Matt White, the assist to Justin Gomez. And Sterling's season comes to an end. And our next broadcast could be field hockey. Yep. If field hockey wins today, good luck to the girls down at Lower Cape May. And we will see you next time. For Kevin Schulz, Tad Kozaneski,